Hello, and welcome to Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Johnny Ruhal. With me, as always, my co-host, Benjamin Beer Vendor Shabbing. And joining us again is special guest Dylan, the Gorilla God's go-to HVAC repair guy, Rolly.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Now,
I love it.
Now, Ben, you said you had nicknames as well for this, but I said I wanted to host this one as well. Okay. What were your nicknames?
Mine was Johnny Hackna Ruhal.
Okay.
And then Dylan, what does the Hedron do, Rolly?
Okay. I like what does the Hedron do, Rolly. I don't really like the Hapna nickname there. So this is our spring preview. We got a lot of shit to talk about, so I'm just getting into it here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 shows to talk about.
That's the most we've ever done, right?
I think so. And here's the problem. Most of these I think I'm going to keep watching.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Now, yours, obviously, I haven't watched. There's 3 that you watched. There's 2 that I watched that you didn't watch. And there's 1 that Dylan watched that neither of us watched. And Dylan's only watched one of these shows. And that's the one that he watched, right? There's
Correct.
None of these that you had seen.
Besides the 12 minutes of...
Oh, yes. I did make you watch the 12 minutes of... The first 12 minutes of episode 2 of season 2 of Aharen-san is Indecipherable. Which, let's just go ahead and start. I want to structure this episode as us convincing Dylan what shows we watch and why we think he might want to watch it. So do we want to have Dylan give his show now and then we can just go into that? Or do we want to save Dylan's show for last?
I think we should save it for last.
Okay. So let's just start with the one that I made Dylan watch the first 12 minutes of episode 2. And Ben, you haven't seen the first season of this show, but I did also make you watch those 12 minutes.
Yes.
So let's talk about Aharen is Indecipherable, season 2.
Okay.
Dylan, what are your thoughts on the 12 minutes of episode 2 that I made you watch?
It was terrible. I hated it.
You hated it?
I hated it so much.
Can you elaborate on that?
I didn't enjoy it.
That's not elaborating.
I needed,
context?
I guess I just needed context. I needed a story. I needed to know what was happening. And I needed to know why I was watching 12 minutes of Animal Crossing, the anime.
Okay, but were you not entertained when the Animal Crossing turned into,
a neo-noir?
Yeah,
it turned into, Yakuza?
I got a good giggle when all of a sudden he confronted him about some cabbages. Then all of a sudden had 3 million whatever.
It turned into Yakuza.
No, I liked it when that guy died.
Yeah, he got shot.
On a boat. Nice boat, by the way.
Alright, we'll just go ahead and say this last episode, we were thinking Dylan was crazy for thinking there was a boat in School Days. But neither of us had actually seen it. And there was, in fact, a boat in School Days.
It was a big meme for a long time. I knew it.
But, I don't know, I watched that and I just thought... And I know the humor of this show is very much the main guy just takes things to extremes. He just has these really convoluted thoughts in his head of what if it's this really weird scenario? And then it turns out that it's just oh, it's normal. And then his reaction is always just oh, okay, that makes sense. So, it is... I really like this show. It is a romance.
I would say I'll probably like the show overall.
It is.
I am going to go back and watch the show. But
It is a romance between the tall guy and the short girl.
Mainly because I want to know if it is the manga that I read. Because whenever you were describing it to me originally, I'm like, it sounds like something I read, but I've read 400 romances in the last year, so I don't know which one it would be.
Well, so in season 1, there's a bit where the main girl, she's really quiet and she's bad at judging distances. She's got fucked up eyes too. Mm-hmm. So she's either too far away and talking too softly or right up next to you, and he's trying to befriend her, but he can't tell if she's being oh no. she's being distant to me because he physically cannot hear her talk even though she's talking. And then when she's really close, he's oh god, is she is she possessing her or protecting her territory? Is she coming up and is she trying to get me to give her my wallet? I don't But then, like, he, like, realizes that, oh, she just has trouble communicating. So we'll, like, come up with they just, like, we'll figure out some way that we can communicate easier. And he's like, they try smoke signals. At one point, he, like, shoots an arrow with a message tied to it. And it's just like, what if we just sat closer? He's like, oh, okay, yeah. And it's just, like, it's just all these bits of them just being adorable where it's, like, he just has all these convoluted thoughts and then it turns into, like, oh, okay. It's like, oh no, is she... At one point, her little brother likes to dress up as her, but is like way more like different personality. And so like she goes to the bathroom and then the little brother comes up that he's never met. And he's like, why is she acting like this? Has she been replaced by a doppelganger? And then she comes out like, this is my little brother. He likes to dress up as me. He's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They do the Pokemon meme with the Focus Sash Quick Attack. They play a game like Pokemon, and he's got like a Tyranitar dragon type thing, and he's like, poor Aharen, I'll go easy on her. I won't use my strongest move. And then he uses a move, it gets down to 1 HP, and it's like, Focus Sash. Or Focus Sash Endeavor. Oh no, Quick Attack. It's like, I've lost. Yep. I've been bested by the master.
Endeavor Quick Attack strats. OP.
At one point, they get into like a fidget spinner, and she just learns all these fidget spinner moves, and he's like, I need to strive to connect with her about fidget spinners. And so he gets into it. She's like, yeah, I got bored and gave it to my brother. He's like, oh, okay, I guess we're done with this now. It's the whole show. It's I love it. And then when I watch the Animal Crossing, I'm like, this is transcendent. This is something altogether different. Like, it would be fine and just like, okay, that's a funny Animal Crossing bit. And then it's just like, oh, no, now it's Yakuza in Animal Crossing. Okay, now it's like future cyberpunk in Earth.
I don't know. Without the context, I didn't like it.
Ben, what were your thoughts?
I mean, they played Animal Crossing, then it got weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I liked when it got weird. I don't know. I just like, yeah. And maybe it's better having... I read all the manga for it, too. So just... And I don't remember reading that in the manga. But when I watched it, having all the context, I'm just like, this is amazing. And I thought it would be, like, standalone enough, being like, well, it's just this dude playing Animal Crossing, but then turns into Yakuza. I think that's a funny enough premise. You can watch it on your own. I guess I was wrong, but that's Aharen is Indecipherable Season 2. I really want to watch Season 1 of that for this show, but I don't know.
Wait, you haven't watched Season 1?
I've watched Season 1.
Oh.
I want to make Ben watch it and cover it on this show.
Gotcha, okay.
But we've got so many other stuff to do that I don't know if we'll get around to it.
Valentine's Day's coming up.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's already April.
Yeah, bud. Did you forget to get a Valentine for your wife?
Oh, me and Rachel don't do Valentine's Day gifts.
Yeah. This is where we learn late. Rachel buys you a Valentine's Day gift every year and then waits to give it to you until you give her one. And she's like, well, I guess I'll throw this away.
Oh.
Okay. What one do we want to talk about next? So I talked about Aharen. Do you want to talk about one of the ones that you watched, Ben, or do you want to talk about one of the ones we watched together?
You got the list.
Okay. Well, do we want to talk about one that we watched together, or do you want to talk about one of yours?
I don't care.
You're not being very helpful, Ben.
You're the host. You pick.
Okay, but the host can still get input from the other people.
Nope. You chose the host.
All right, Dylan. I want to talk to you about Catch Me at the Ballpark.
Okay.
Why are you talking to him about this?
Because you apparently don't want to be part of the conversation, Ben. You don't care what we talk about. I don't know if I would watch this if I wasn't friends with you, Ben. If we weren't watching this for the podcast, I don't know if I would watch it. I definitely am going to finish it, even if you don't want to watch it some more. But what are your thoughts, Ben, on Catch Me at the Ballpark?
Oh, the show's kind of great. I love it.
This show is...
It's my guilty pleasure.
It just sort of follows various people that work and or attend a ballpark. I wouldn't even say there's like maybe 1, 2 through line characters, but they're not the same. Like one of them is like, okay, this character may go and interact with like these 4 people, and this character may go interact with these couple of people, and then they'll interact with each other. But I wouldn't really call either of them necessarily the main character.
I think the vendor is the main character.
Yeah, I think the beer vendor girl is the main character. Mm-hmm. But there are like the counter girl that works
Yeah.
at the chicken stand. She doesn't talk to the beer vendor girl.
No.
I think at one point she sees the beer vendor girls and is like, I want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the most that's interacting. But it's basically just like, there's a minor league baseball team?
No,
it's a major league baseball team. They're just really shitty.
Yeah,
major
just
league
really
baseball
bad.
team in Japan. And, it follows this one guy who's just a regular office worker, but he likes going and watching baseball games.
As an escape. That's fair.
And then, like, this friendship that he strikes up with a beer vendor girl who's sort of just getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, I guess I'll buy a beer from you, weird sales lady. And then, like, we follow the mascot who goes around encouraging people. The mascot's an axolotl.
We got Mr. IGA. He's like the or the ballpark security.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Iga.
Iga. Yeah, IGA.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, yeah, we follow that security guy sometimes.
That guy's awesome.
At one point, there's like a lady that goes to the ballpark, and when she's like on the train, she's like, baseball fans, I fucking hate baseball fans. And she's like, but I guess I'm also going to the ballpark. And then it turns out she's a pitcher's wife. And she's like, I love my husband, but I hate baseball fans because they're always playing down on my husband.
There's some Statler and Waldorf characters.
Yeah, there are just some old people that are like heckling the baseball players at times. And then they get put in their place when the pitcher does well.
There's a Chicago Cubs player or former Chicago
there's a
Cubs
former
player.
Chicago Cubs player that like sees the beer girl. He's just sort of like, this is just stepping stone on my way back to the majors. I don't care about these teammates. I don't care about
The
playing as
culture.
a team.
Yeah.
And then like his attitude, people are like, oh yeah, what a terrible attitude. But then they like see him and he's like, why is he smiling at the plate? And he's just like, that beer vendor girl in the stands is really pretty. And then like he does something and people are like, man, his attitude's turned around. It hasn't really, but they just keep misinterpreting him, being like, that is a pretty girl over there. All right.
I think it's kind of great. I love it.
At one point he like sees her and like stumbles while running to first base, and so he falls, but it like he kind of turns it into a slide into first. It's like all right, they're like, he did it.
Great hustle.
So it's just little vignettes every episode. There's like 3 or 4 vignettes.
Oh, that's fun. I think it's really good. I like it.
It's fun.
But I'm a baseball fan, so
It's fun, and I don't like baseball. As we covered last episode, I think.
No, we covered basketball last episode.
No, because I talked about how I like For Love of the Game, but I don't really like baseball.
Oh, yeah. And we talked about Ace of the Diamond, yep. That's right.
Okay. Ben, I need you to tell me about ZatzuTabi, That's Journey.
This is a show about a young girl. She wins like 3 million yen from like a manga contest. And she's struggling to get her stories made. So she just decides to go on a trip one day. And she has like a Twitter poll to decide where she goes. And then she does it. And it's very whatever. I liked the first episode, but the second episode, it was just like, oh, okay. It's going to be this again. And she doesn't, I don't know, the character doesn't quite have the charisma or something to like keep it going, I think. So, I don't know.
The character's kind of blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the second episode, she like brings a friend with her, and I don't know. Just the chemistry was off. So I don't know if maybe it was just their chemistry, if it's the actual main lady, but I don't know. It wasn't very good.
But it's about a girl trying to make ends meet to fill her travel addiction. Is
Yeah,
the thing.
basically.
That's how you described it to me off mic.
Mhm.
Now that I remember you talking about this.
Yeah.
Um,
I was kind of high on it after the first episode because I'm like, oh, I kind of like the first episode. But then, I don't know, second episode just didn't click.
You watched 3 episodes?
I did not watch the third episode, though. So I got to give it one more episode. But right now, it's probably a drop.
Okay, so we're not going to recommend Dylan watch that
No.
one.
I don't
So far, we are recommending Dylan watch Aharen is Indecipherable and or see if he's read it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out Catch Me at the Ballpark, but it's a weird one, so that's a weird recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're not recommending ZatzuTabi.
No.
Dylan, are you making note of this? Do you have any questions about any of the shows we've mentioned?
Not yet. I'm currently in the midst of Googling Aharen-san's manga to see if I've read it.
Aheren.
He's got it.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry. I'm good at finding stuff.
All right.
I'm a bit of a detective.
I'm a wizard detective.
Let's go into I didn't think I'd like this territory, but I kind of like this.
Okay.
I didn't think I'd like this so much, but I kind of like the Gorilla God's go-to girl. What are your thoughts on the Gorilla God's go-to girl?
Right now, it's kind of good. I like it.
Oh, wait, hold up. We have to pause for just a second. I forgot. I had a note for Catch Me at the Ballpark.
Oh, okay.
So the business guy that we mentioned that kind of befriends the beer vendor, there is a girl that works at like a fried chicken counter sort of thing, and like she all of a sudden like gets a crush on this same character for visiting, and so I commented, "Get this man on the field. He's a player."
I have not read this.
Okay. I'd recommend you read it. It was a fun manga to read.
Okay.
Or check out the first season and then read it. Or read it and then check out the first season.
It'll probably be a read it, and then if I liked reading it, I'll watch it.
Okay. So yeah, Gorilla God's Go-To Girl, I surprisingly liked this one. I thought this might have gone like the same way that what the hell was the wizard one
Promise
called?
of Wizard?
Promise of Wizard, where it's just like, oh, this is like a reverse harem and all the guys are just super like, I don't know, feminine.
I don't know.
Or like, appealing to some sort of weird sexuality thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little bit of a reverse harem going on, but it's just been kind of fun, and I like the boy characters so far in it.
Yeah.
In this show, Dylan, everybody gets an animal spirit at like the age of 16, and this like shy, like meek girl
who doesn't want to stand out,
does not want to stand out, gets one of the all-powerful summons, like only happens once, maybe every 50 years, as a chosen of the Gorilla God. So she's super strong, she's super fast, and she has a craving for bananas. And she's just like, people are like, what spirit did you get? She's like, oh, don't worry about it. I don't really want to talk about it. And she's like, oh yeah, she's OP. We gotta enroll her in the Magic Knights program. She's like, all right, I'm gonna intentionally fail these tests. But then like the Gorilla God spirit activates at the wrong time, so it's like, all right, the 50-meter dash or whatever.
You ran through
all
the
of
wall.
a sudden, yeah, you sprinted so fast, and then you were so powerful, you just crashed through the wall and kept going. Like, okay. Or, it's like, okay, you got to climb down this, you got to rappel down this wall, and then, one other person is like kind of scared to go. She's like, well, I'll go with you. And then he falls, and she catches him with one hand.
Then the rope snaps and just does a gorilla landing.
Yeah. It's like, and then they're like, your hand is injured. Go to the nurse's office. And she missed the last test. She's like, thank God, I missed the last test. There's no way I'm passing. She's like, you're in. I'm like, damn it. Now all these boys are giving me attention at school, and the popular girls are getting mad at me. I just want to get through school without causing an incident. But I also just keep accidentally destroying things with my massive gorilla strength. The one thing I'll say that this show detracts is they do that thing where they have like half gloves that like cover the fingers and like part of the palm, but not the bottom half of the palm. And I just don't like it. It's not a good look.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking now. Sorry. My brain was
it
trying
just
to
like
process.
covers the top of like just the middle of the fingers and like the very top of the palm, but like all
My
this
brain
is
was
open.
having trouble processing what you said, and I was like, eh.
It's like the opposite of fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
There's a bird guy who's super creepy.
Yeah, he just showed up in the most recent episode. I don't like him.
I don't like him. Anyways, that was actually surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still probably only give it a 7 at most.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, other shows that I've given a 6, I'm just like, I guess I'll give it a 6 because it feels mean to give it a 5. This one is like a solid 6.5, which could be going up to a 7 maybe. Mm-hmm. It could get worse, and it could just be like whatever. But I had fun the first 3 episodes. So
you know what they say: if you have fun with the first 3, you have fun with the back 9.
That feels dirty.
That feels dirty.
Really feels dirty.
It feels filthy.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find images of the half gloves to show you how ridiculous this shit is. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's one. That's a good picture of it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. How do those stay on?
Yeah, it's just weird.
It's like when you try to put rubber
We are all
on,
here, correct?
What?
We are all here, right? Dibs.
That doesn't... Okay, you
We're not watching the show.
Gotcha!
This is a promotional material.
You
We're
got
not
dibs on that
show.
poster.
Okay. The other one that I surprisingly kind of like is Witch Watch.
Yeah, that one's fun.
That one, I think,
what is it?
It's no way it's getting up to a 7, but I'm having fun with it. I don't think
it has the potential for 7. I don't think it will. I don't know.
So
I think the thing is, the first episode's kind of okay. I like the flat part, like where she comes flat.
Oh yeah,
That's fun. But everything else is kind of okay. But then the second episode I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
And then this last episode is again okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be consistent. But
there might be some really good bits in it. So she's a witch, and he is a descendant of Oni or ogres. It translates to ogres, but you can tell they're saying Oni. And they're like, yeah, she's got some sort of like prophecy where doom is going to happen soon, and I've got to go do this other thing, so you got to take care of her son while she's here. She's been in witch training, but now she's coming back to regular Japan, and you're going to have to watch over her as her familiar. So you'll just live in our house together with her, just you two. Mm-hmm. And then...
She has a super crush on him.
Oh, yeah. She's like... It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, well, whatever. She's just like, nah, I got to impress this man. I got to do things while we're living together that make him want me. And he is just sort of like stoic at times. And other times he's very protective because that's his job. He's her familiar, or he needs to protect her from certain doom. And all of her magic has just like crazy drawbacks.
Yeah. So
like she fixes the window that she broke when she crash landed into the house. But she's like, in order to can you get me something that you really love? He's like, this is my favorite cup of all time. And she's like, all right, great. And then she casts a spell and it breaks the cup to fix the window. It's like, yeah, it's based off of, the love that you put into that cup. I then translated it to the glass to fix it. He's like, that was my favorite cup. Why didn't you break one of your own things? She's like, I don't really have any of my stuff here. At one point, they're like trying to save somebody from a burning building, but the weight on the broomstick is too much, so she casts a spell to make everything lighter. But when she does that, they become like lightheaded too, so they're just like very vapid and like, oh yeah. And then the other drawback of the spell is that like after it's been light for so long, it then becomes like twice as heavy. So the personalities become like, the world sucks. The most recent episode, she's like, I can use magic to make clothing based off of pictures that I see. So she's like trying to get a fashionable outfit to impress him from a magazine. But it's like, but since it's a picture, it only does the front part. It can't fill in the back. So the back is just see-through. So she's just like, it's like, I'm practicing walking sideways. Don't look behind me. What do you think? It's like, what is going on?
Oh, man.
He's like, don't tell people at school that you're a witch. And then she's also trying to be really helpful. The magic is just bonkers. So she's like, I'm going to they're introducing themselves in class, and he's like, oh, he's taking notes. Oh no, his eraser broke in half. Let me make his eraser stub bigger. So let me cast this enlarging spell. Whoops, I missed. Now his arm is giant. And it's like, oh, and now he's like hiding it behind his back and pretending that he's got a demon in his arm and embarrassing himself because he can't reveal that that his arm is actually giant because he's trying to protect the fact that I'm a witch. And then she, like, makes his head gigantic, and the teacher is, like, freaking the fuck out. It's like, why is his head so big? What is going on? Am I hallucinating?
She makes a Hunter x Hunter reference?
Yeah, they reference, they name drop a lot of actual animes, too.
Oh, that's great.
It's not like they're doing
last
the thing.
Last episode mentioned Golgo 13.
It also mentioned Hunter x Hunter again last
okay.
episode.
I didn't catch that one.
Because she, like, does, like, when she's trying to walk sideways, she does, like, a weird pose and, like, what are you, Netero from Hunter x Hunter? Are you Chairman Netero? But no, she, like, her enlarging spells eventually backfires, and she, like, makes herself huge, and she's like, now everybody's looking at her as she's introducing herself, right as she casts the spell to make herself huge. And she's like, all right, well, I'm a witch. And it's like, okay. Everybody's like, oh, cool. They're like, oh, thank God. Everybody's cool with it. And she's actually making friends. Good. And then he's like, but I'm like an ogre, so don't tell people that because they're not going to be able to take that. And then they're like, all right, we need to have a class bonding experience. So they decide that they're going to go outside and she's going to set up like an anti-gravity area where everybody can fly. And the classmates are like, some people, are very timid and sticking to the ground. Some people are being like, they're not good at it but they're trying way too hard. Some people immediately got the hang of it and pretended to be Dragon Ball Z characters. And then eventually like a car is driving onto the school grounds and enters the anti-gravity zone. People that person had no idea what was going on, freaking the fuck out. And then it leaves the anti-gravity zone, and so he's got to go like catch it. He catches the truck, and is like, "Well, I guess it's cat's out of the bag. I'm an ogre." They're like, "Oh, okay, cool." It's like, "Oh, thank God." But yeah, that second episode was a lot of fun. That's the one where they're flying in that second episode, and they're starting school.
What was the bit where it's like one guy's like, "Yeah, I just basically just like." Scroll the internet all the time, and another guy's like, right. "Yeah, I just make shit posts all the time." It's like, you son of a bitch!
Shit posts.
Yeah, somebody's like, I post stuff, and then people keep shit posting on it. And another character in class is like, yes, my hobby is to go to crappy videos and shit post on them. It's like, wait a minute, yeah, you're the.
Eyebrows /animation.
Oh my God! Well, then there's the one guy that's just got all the weird. So people come up to her as a witch, and they're like, oh, can you do this?
What did he say?
One guy's like, can you make my left and right eyeball switch? He doesn't ask her. He asks the guy. He's like, hey, can you ask her if she can switch my left and right eyeball? And I'm like, that is the most fucked up shit ever. Like, it's not dirty. It's not, like, gory. But I heard that. I'm like, that is the very most fucked up thing you could say.
So would
ever.
That make you right-eye dominant?
I don't know.
We don't know.
It's like, why does
I want to know.
Why does this man want this? What are his schemes?
My thinking is the eyes do the same thing, so if you switch places, they do the same thing. I don't think it's...
Yeah, I don't think it's...
Which side you're on.
I mean, there are definitely people that have less vision in different eyes. But it's not like somebody that's like right eye dominant. It's not that you are like that eye is necessarily inherently better. It's more just that's.
It has to do with like a focal point of something, like where if you have one eye open or covering the other. I'm not an
ophthalmologist. I don't know these things.
Optometrist.
Well, ophthalmologist does diseases of the eye. Optometrist does vision.
Yeah, I'm not an eye doctor.
Well, there's two types of eye doctors. There's ophthalmologists and optometrists.
They're both the same.
They are not both the same. Optometrists don't cure eye diseases. They don't work with eye diseases.
But they can tell you have one.
They could tell you to go talk to an ophthalmologist. And a lot of optometrists are also ophthalmologists. But optometry is basically just people that can prescribe glasses and contacts, and they can test your vision. Ophthalmologists will actually look at the health of your eyes.
I was like, 'cause I know my eye doctor checks like my eye health and everything.
Yeah, and so does mine, because he's also an ophthalmologist. Do you go to Sahin Jones?
Yeah, or no. The one...
It's by the donut shop? Because that's Sahin Jones.
The one that's on Evergreen on the curve right there. I think it's Weber Optics. Isn't it Weber Optics?
On what? Evergreen?
Right there by the new Sarah Bush building.
There's a doctor over there?
No, I only go to my eye doctor. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I didn't know there was one over there.
Pretty sure.
The one that's by like the Armory?
No.
No,
No, he's on Evergreen. By, like, the nudie.
Yeah, by Benuti Clinics.
I just didn't know there's an eye doctor over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, like, literally right on the curve. Right there.
Anyway, I heard... He had one other, like, really weird request, too.
Something like that, yeah.
But it's like, I heard that, and I'm like, that is... I don't know why. Again, the wording is, that is the most fucked up shit I've ever heard.
But anyways, yeah. It's good.
Sounds like it's worth the watch. Worth the trip, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth the watching the first 3 episodes, and I'll probably keep watching it. Is it worth it for me to recommend... We were talking about recommendations on the last episode. Is it worth it for me to recommend to somebody that doesn't watch a lot of anime? No.
No.
It's
somebody
not like...
who enjoys anime.
Yeah, somebody that's like, I'm looking for something to watch that's coming out this season. I'd be like, this one was fun. You should watch Witch Watch.
You should watch.
Which show should you watch? Why not Witch Watch?
2019.
Let's talk about shows I wanted to like more, but I think are just going to be okay. You know, shows that I would want to be like an 8 or a 9, but I think are going to end up being a 7.
Okay.
That is namely, I want to talk about Rock as a Lady's Modesty.
I'm glad you have the same sentiment.
I kind of really wanted to go into the show, because the show is like, there's this preppy school, all-girls school, that's all about like high society stuff and being like a lady. And then like the 2 main characters just start like a hardcore rock group.
Oh.
Like in secret. And it's like, that sounds like it'd be like really cool. And it's playing on High Dive. And High Dive, High Dive has had shows where I'm just like, this is actually like a really good show. And I was wanting something like Insomniacs After School. Insomniacs After School, not Insomniacs After Dark. I was going into it thinking it was going to be on the level of Insomniacs After School. And it's not quite there.
No, there's...
And maybe it can get there.
We only did watch 2 episodes.
We did only watch 2 episodes. They do name drop Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're like, how are you so good at reading English? She's like, well, I'm really big Red Hot... Never mind. Because she's trying to hide her rocker past so that she can, like... Okay. Her mom got remarried to this, like, really rich person. Yeah. And, you know... She doesn't want to be like looked down upon by the sissy family. Doesn't want her mom to be looked down upon by the elite sort of thing. So she's like, I'm going to enter this school. I'm going to win their award for bestest lady, whatever the hell that was called. They have like some sort of award for the exemplary lady or something. And so like I got to put my guitar playing behind me. And then this other girl that on the surface just seems like, oh, everybody really likes, she's so nice and refined, is just like a drummer with kind of a toxic personality. She's like, oh, like she hears her playing the drum and she's just like, oh, hey, do you want to play this guitar while I join this jam session? And she's like, no, I gave up on guitar. And she's like, oh, well, if you weren't any good, you should have just said that. And she's like, okay, well, now fuck you. And she does, like, and she plays guitar, and she's like, this song, I know this song, this is my solo, nobody can chime better than me. And she does it, and she's, like, feeling really proud of herself. She's like, that was good. And then the drummer is just like, what the fuck was that weak shit? It's like, okay, lady, you're being a little... And then the next episode, she's like, you gotta come play music with me again. Please, I'm sorry I was so, like, mean to you after that. I just got really fired up. It's like, this seems kind of toxic. It also doesn't help the main girl has a ridiculous fucking hairdo. Oh, yeah. She's got, like, twin tails, but they just, like, stick out like this. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I wanted to sort of take this show a little seriously.
She got through doors.
She does. She can't. She's got to go sideways. She's got a sideways walk. Okay. Like the Witch Watch.
My one note for this was needs more rock.
Yeah. Which we only got like 1.5 things. They didn't even, they started, in the end of episode 2, they're like, fine, one more jam session. And it was like, but we haven't gotten it yet. So. Okay.
The like saving grace is it does seem like they're going to go towards like they're starting a band. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But right now it's a little disappointing.
But we're only 2 episodes in.
It could get better.
Let's also go. What are your thoughts on can a boy-girl friendship survive?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, mid.
Mid?
Yeah.
I think this would be right up Dylan's alley.
I mean, yeah, probably, but
I think this is a show. This is this dude likes making flower like accessories, jewelry. He wants to open a store, and so he just spends a lot of time doing that. And this girl he befriends in middle school is basically like the sales side of it. And they're like, okay, well, we'll be friends. And neither one of them, both of them are attracted to each other, but neither one of them are like, we can't let this friendship define us. We can't break this friendship. We can't go further because I know that she's just teasing me, or you know, like I keep teasing him. Why won't he take the hint and go further? And then like
Nana.
What are you looking up, Dylan?
No, it's just
that's who writ.
It's based on a light novel.
Survive.
Okay.
Nana. Basically, banana without the buh a lot.
It's Nana.
Okay.
Nana.
That might be a pseudonym.
Nah.
But then there's another girl shows up. Turns out it was like
new challenger approaches.
A crush that the guy had, like this girl he met once, and like has had a crush on this whole time. And then like the feeling is mutual, sort of thing. And the girl best friend is like torn between I'm gonna like try to push them together, but the closer they get together, the more frustrated I'm feeling. And it's a little like at the end. I really liked the end of the last episode, though it could have been better. The end of episode 3, there's like somebody is like, oh, this new girl, she should be your full-time new model for your flower arranging business. And the other girl, like, all of a sudden is like, no, you can't do that. And she's like, well, hold up. I meant that it would be a bad idea because people will comment nasty things about models on things, you know, and we don't want to expose her. She's trying to, like, cover her base as to why she had such a visceral reaction against it. And everybody else at the table is just like, no, I think I'm against you on this. And she's like, all right, well, I just need to calm down. Where's my comfort drink that I always keep? I don't have any of that. I can't calm down. Okay, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm leaving. Like that's how the episode ended. I'm like, okay, this is getting good.
No, that's not how it ends.
Well, if she just left at that point, it'd have been really good.
Well, she dumps water on him.
Yeah, that was also good, too. She dumps water. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't calm down. And then dumps water on him. It's like, I never want to talk to you again. And then they kind of do the little, like, fade away, you know, scream of frustration sort of thing. If she had just been like, I never want to talk to you again, and left, Ben and I both think that would have been a more powerful scene.
Yeah.
But they kind of, like, play it to the comedic extent of, like, we're going to end this on the person, you know, squealing in frustration. You know how they do that sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, this is getting straight into this. Mm-hmm. Also, like either in the opening or in the ending, they just tack on a little "No, it can't" to the name of the show. They're like, can a boy-girl friendship survive? On like the title, and then underneath it is a little "No, it can't."
I never got that.
Oh, I did forget something about Aharen.
Yeah,
I don't know if the intro that's on the episode that I watched is the intro for the whole thing.
I think it is for season 2 at least.
But that was one of the best intros I've heard since Unravel on Tokyo Ghoul. And that's Unravel up here. That's number 1.
I'd have to listen to it. I don't know.
And I was just sitting there because it's kind of like Unravel-esque, but it's really good.
I don't remember it.
It was so
I mean,
good.
if you want, after we're done recording, I'm probably going to watch episode 3.
So good.
Interesting. Anyways,
I had that thought in my head because I remember watching that 12 minutes. I was like,
okay,
this intro is great.
As the romance savant, would you recommend this show?
I would recommend this show, yes.
Okay.
I think Dylan should watch this. I think people that like romance with a little bit of spice, high school romance, a little bit of spice, should watch this. I don't think it's super spicy. I don't think it's gonna get there, but I think it's gonna. From what we've seen, it's already had some like. It's not just fluff. Aharen is Indecipherable is pretty fluffy, and that's got its own appeal if done right. This is, you know, a little bit more drama to it, I guess is the word.
So more like Horimiya?
more like.
There's a lot
I would say it's more like more than a married couple, but not quite not yet lovers or something like that. That level of like, there's not necessarily like super like okay. I remember in More Than a Married Couple, there's like a scene where they're both like crammed in like a little closet together, and it's not necessarily like that level, but it's just like okay, like the friend girl is definitely like.
Well, she's like, well, do you want to practice kissing?
Yeah. And like,
it doesn't matter. We're going to get married later. So why not just.
Yeah, we made the deal that if you're, you can't have your business going by 30, then I'd marry you or something like that.
Do you want to do it? Because we're going to be doing it when we're 30 anyways.
Yeah. It's like, I was joking around in front of the other girl that likes you about how we practice kissing, even though we didn't do it, but she thinks we did, so we might as well go ahead and practice kissing now. And then like he gets really close to it, and then I like her crutch of it's a joke comes in as she like reveals that she's been like filming it, and he's like, oh, so this was a joke, and she's like, why the fuck did I do that?
I had the conch in my hand.
He was gonna do it, and then I ruined it. Why won't he just do it? I told him he could do it. And he's like, are you saying something? He's like, don't worry about it. Okay, let's talk about the show that I would for sure recommend, even if you're not into romance, but if you are into romance, for sure. Let's talk about Kowloon Generic Romance.
Okay.
This show, Dylan, is... Well, first of all, it's centered around adults, so that's nice.
Right.
It takes place in the walled city of Kowloon. I don't know if you know anything about that. It's an actual place in China that got demolished in the 30s. Have you ever seen Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Okay, think Blade Runner, where like it's like really crammed together, and there's small really streets, housings. And it's like tall, and then it's sort of like a maze. And this is a place that really existed. Like, you don't know your way around it. There's not like a way that you can really like map it out, because it's like, oh, well, this used to be like an alleyway that you could get through, but somebody walled it off, and now it's a 1-bedroom apartment. Like cramped space, like very like old style type thing. It takes place in there. There's these two realtors, and like the main girl is just very much like, fuck, I can't not fuck this dude. And then they go in and like get tea at a place that's like mysterious, and then somebody's like, oh, it's good to see his girlfriend again. She's like, what are you talking about? I've never been here. I'm not his girlfriend.
Whoops.
And then at a certain point, she like sees like a picture. She's like, what? Who was I mistaken for? And she sees like a picture in a file in his desk, and she pulls it out, and it's a picture of them at that restaurant that she has no memory of. And she's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then like she goes to like talk to him. He's like sleeping on a couch in the office, and he just like wakes up. He's half asleep, and then he just like pulls her in and kisses her, and then like wakes up as he's like fully wakes up. He's doing that, pushes her away. He's like, sorry, wrong person. Like, what? And it's like this weird, like it's got like little hints of sci-fi and little hints of like maybe possibly post-apocalyptic, and you're like,
or like almost utopia
or dystopia,
something like that.
It's like there's this weird
I get
hedron
the sense...
in the sky.
Yeah, that's where what does the hedron do?
And it's like, well, at first we're like, did she like lose her memories? And like he's just playing it cool. And then it's like, no, but her ears were pierced, and your ears are not pierced. And then they're like, she goes to get like a I don't know. There's this like medical
free consultation
consultation, and like a friend of hers like who's had extensive plastic surgery is like, oh, we should go get these plastic surgery consultations. And she's like, well, the guy that I had the hots for has been like teasing me about my crow's feet, and they mentioned like some anti-aging thing. Maybe I'll go in and look to see, what that consultation is. Like the celebrity doctor that does it, total freakazoid,
piece of shit.
He's got a literal like
snake
tongue snake thing that's creepy looking, and he seems like recognize her, and he's like, your crow's feet are fake, like not like fake, they're real crow's feet, but you don't actually have any of like the age put behind them. They're like, it's like you were created with crow's feet. Like, so is she a clone? What is going on? Are we in a simulation? And like none of this is real? I don't know what this sci-fi mystery is, but it's intriguing and it's a little creepy, but it's also like a romance, and like they're both characters are pretty cool characters. Kowloon generic romance is way up there.
This is probably good. If there's going to be the best anime of the season, it's probably going to be that one.
Yeah,
it's not a guarantee, but
it gives me vibes of parts of it give me vibes of like Paprika or Perfect Blue, where it's like it's not quite as like fucked up as those movies are, twisted as, but it's like it's kind of on the edge, and it could balance on that edge where what it's been doing, it could go off the edge, or it could get like into a safer distance, and I'm not really for sure what I want from it per se, but right now it's been balancing that edge where I'm just expecting something to drop that is gonna be, terrible, but hopefully end up not as really terrible good as Perfect Blue. I mean, Perfect Blue is an amazing movie. Have you ever seen Perfect Blue?
I don't think so.
You should watch Perfect Blue. It is, you should not watch it with your wife.
Or kids.
And that it is a mindfuck. Like, there's a lot of gaslighting going on, and just like pop star industry, like, darkness that happens, and stalkers, and it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
And when Shabs and I watched it with Brock and Alex, who had never seen it before, and they're just going, what the fuck, every 5 seconds, have been around, just like, yes.
And then I'm like, wait, what?
That's the most satisfying feeling.
And then Ben's like, wait a minute, I don't remember this happening. I'm like, you don't remember this happening? Okay.
No, it's more like, wait, I forget if this is real or not.
Wait, which is this? Is this an hallucination or is this real or what's going on right now? But Satoshi Kon he did like Paranoia Agent, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, Perfect Blue. Honestly, tragic. He died as young as he did. Everything he's made has been really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, the weakest is maybe Paprika, maybe Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah.
But those are both still solid 9 out of 10 movies.
8, 9 out of 10s, yeah.
Paranoia Agent is a weird-ass show, but
some good stuff.
It's really good stuff. And even the short he did, Magnetic Rose.
He wrote. I don't think he directed, though.
I thought he directed that short.
I think he just wrote it.
We'd have to look it up, but...
that was the best one of those 3.
Yeah, the rest of in that trilogy was whatever.
Yeah.
The canon one was okay. It was like some sort of like weird art thing.
Yeah.
The fart one was
just crazy.
Yeah. And then but his was just sort of like, oh, it's like spooky ghost and or holograms from a machine in space, psychic fuck around.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Moving on. But yeah, you should watch.
Yeah, for sure you need to watch Kowloon Generic Romance. Ben, why don't you talk about Apocalypse Hotel?
Okay. Again, only watched the first 2 episodes. I wasn't able to catch up on all of these in time. This premise is, it's like the near future. This hotel is ran by a bunch of robots. But all of the humans have left Earth because of some natural disaster. The air becomes like unbreathable. So everybody,
Wally.
Yeah, basically. So the only people left, well, there's no people left, but there's just this crew of robots manning this hotel in the hopes that one day humans will come back. And it's just their story. The first episode is just like them just like doing their everyday duties without people actually being there. Like there's like a doorman robot, and like every time he opens the door he overheats, so she has to like splash water on him to cool him off. But he can't fight the urge to not open the door. So he just keeps opening the door. She's like, you gotta stop opening it. He's like, but I can't.
I'm programmed to open the door.
To open the door. And another one is like, what is it? That same doorman just like steals a shower cap from one of the rooms because he like thinks it'll help. Or like he's getting tired of getting splashed by the water. So he's like, I gotta protect myself from the water because I don't like it. And then she spends like 10 minutes trying to find a shower cap. She couldn't find it. And then second episode is like they get a visitor, but it's an alien who looks like Goldingo.
Okay,
green.
Goldingo, the Pokemon? Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like her trying to like give him customer service, but he speaks alien, so she has no idea what he's doing. And it was really good.
Okay.
I gotta give it another episode, but I think it'll be good. I don't know if it'll be great, but so far I've enjoyed it.
Let's take a pause here. Dylan, you have any questions for us? I know there's some that we said you need to watch this. Which ones are you actually like intrigued about checking out?
Definitely gonna watch Boy Girl Survive.
Yeah.
Gonna watch Kowloon.
Okay.
Then I'm probably gonna give Gorilla God a chance. Just by the way you guys were describing it, I don't know if it'll be down my alley, but
it's definitely not a show I would like go and seek out.
Mm-hmm.
But we watched it because its name was ridiculous. I'm like, well, I have to watch the Gorilla God's go-to girl.
Mm-hmm.
But
I definitely won't watch Catch Me at the Ballpark. Wow. It did not sound interesting to me in the slightest.
But the guy's from Chicago. He's like, I'll give you deep dish pizza.
Yeah, he did tell the mascot he would give him deep dish pizza at one point. Wait, the mascot? You can understand English?
And then none of the... I guess you haven't talked about the Netflix stuff yet, have you?
No.
I won't watch the Netflix stuff because I don't have access to Netflix right now.
Mm.
And then just from what I've seen of Lazarus so far...
Yeah, we haven't talked about Lazarus
10 minutes. Yet. I'll probably end up watching it. It looked intriguing just from what I saw sitting in there.
Let's talk about Lazarus now. So Lazarus comes from good old Shinichiro Watanabe.
His big old pecker.
There's the demo video that we talked about this in the last episode where you guys had to go find the text that we sent to Alex about, he was talking about Lazarus, and I'm like, well, I'll watch anything that has Shinichiro's big old pecker rubbed all over it. Shinichiro, which is just like me paraphrasing a quote from Demo in his summer 2014.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Where he talks about Terror in Resonance, which was called, people were calling it Terror in Tokyo at one point, but it's actually Terror in Resonance. So, like, yeah, I will watch Lazarus because it's got his big old pecker slapped over it. I have a few nitpicks, if I can be honest. If it's not an action scene, I feel like the animation is a little whatever.
Okay.
And you can't watch it in Japanese audio English subtitles on HBO Max.
My guess is, again, it's streaming somewhere else in Japan.
Well, it's an Adult Swim
That
thing.
is true.
It plays a little Adult Swim, so they might have, like they did with Space Dandy, got some sort of deal to do it first. Or it might even be like a American production made by...
Well, did you see
It was Jason DeMarco was like an executive producer.
Yeah, but like the stunt coordinator or like the stunt director is Chad Stahelski, who did all the John Wick movies.
Oh, okay. So like it's some sort of like blend of anime / adult drama animation from Adult Swim, and like it definitely feels like that it's not quite an anime.
Yeah.
I liked the first episode more than I did the second or third episode, I would say. But you get the prison break sequence in the first episode where that guy is just like, I'm like, oh, is this just gonna be a parkour anime? Because, like, this guy is just, like, going all crazy over this fucking city evading the police.
There's, like, a 10-minute video or 10-minute part where he's
there's, like, a 10-minute sequence where he's, like, running from the police and doing crazy-ass parkour shit.
Mm-hmm. And see, just watching it reminded me of Spike Spiegel, you know, just watching That's why I was on like this. I mean, it looks like it could probably be good, you know?
You can definitely tell it's a Watanabe show, but...
And I was talking about the dub because I don't really like the dub very much.
Yeah.
I think Axel's voice actor does okay. I think, Doug is the black guy. I think his voice acting is okay, but it could be better.
Mm-hmm.
Axel's the main guy that escapes from prison. Yeah. Doug is the black guy.
Okay.
And I think there's talent with Doug's voice actor, but I just don't... It feels a little flat.
Yeah.
Everything feels a little flat as far as the acting goes.
For me, that's like almost all English dub.
That's...
It all feels flat to me.
Well, so there are American-produced cartoons with great voice acting in them that are coming out. So, like, Gravity Falls, I would say, has got great voice acting in it. DuckTales 2017, great voice acting in it. I didn't watch all of it, but you were watching Common Side Effects, and, like, that's got some pretty solid, like, acting in it.
Yeah.
Voice acting in it. But, like, when it comes to, like, the current dub climate in America... There's not, like, any, like, superstars that I like anymore. Yeah. So, like, all the people that I really like... There's maybe one or two people still in the anime game that I'm like, oh, this person's doing an anime, great. One of them is Sungwon Cho.
Someone.
He's Pro ZD on YouTube. We've probably shown you some of his skits or whatever, but, like, oh, he does a really good job. And he'll do voice acting in anime and cartoons, and he does it all over. And it's like, okay, if he's in something, I normally like it. But, like, all the really good American dub actors, anime doesn't pay for shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll see them in cartoons every now and again. I'll see them in video games, and it's just like, those just pay better. And
then they have their own TNT web series.
Yeah, that too. But then it's like, okay, now we have this crop of voice actors that, like, I used to be able to be really good at, be like, oh, that's that voice, that's that voice, that's that voice. I could, like, pick them out and be like, these are some solid dubs here.
Yeah.
And now it's just sort of, nobody's, like, all that great, and it's because the people that are really good at it aren't going to take the pay that Funimation or whatever is going to throw at them. Or they're based in LA when Funimation is in Houston. And, like, there's a few, like, solid ones. Like, I'm sure the My Hero dub probably gets some money thrown at it because it's so popular. But otherwise, it's just, currently, it's, like, just not great. Mm-hmm. But there are some really good stuff from, like, the 2010s era of anime. Steins Gate 1 is okay. Space Dandy is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is phenomenal. That's 90s.
Yeah.
But, Samurai Champloo is phenomenal. Durarara has got a really good dub.
Yeah.
No, that's a really big cast, but it's like, oh, they got Steve Blum.
But they got all the good ones, yeah.
Yeah. Haruhi's got a great dub. Mm-hmm. There are shows that I refuse to watch sub because the dub is so good.
Baccano has a good one, too.
Baccano's got a good dub. Baccano's a little weird because they do, like, some accents that don't quite hold
up. Yeah, that's true.
They're, like, trying to do Boston or New York or
I'm just thinking of my boy Lad.
Yeah, Lad Russo does a great job, yeah. And now it's just sort of, they're paying nobodies for cheap. And I don't have anything against those people, but it's like, it's just a rush job that they're not putting a lot of care into because they're trying to get it simul-dubbed when it comes out. And that's, they got to translate it and it's weird. But that's my nitpicks for Lazarus is I don't really like the voice acting in it. And I feel like when it's not an action scene, the animation is not quite there.
I think it will pick up the pace. I think it'll get better.
I think so too.
I have faith in this one. It doesn't start out great, but I think it'll be good.
I mean, I'm trying to, just from what I saw, but like just the art style kind of reminded me of a little bit of Ruby, like later.
It's got some 3D CGI stuff, especially with the cars.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Ruby was in some of its later season things, but it definitely has some CGI and like some choreography. Ruby's strength in the first 3 seasons was choreography.
Yeah.
And when Monty Ohm died, that obviously, like, okay, you don't have some savant who's spending 30 hours a day. Yep, I said 30 hours a day. Like self-animating all of like the rigs to do this crazy choreography. We have a team and they've got to, stay within budget, and, and it's, whereas Monty is just like, yeah, whatever, I get paid a salary and I'm going to overwork and like put my love into this. And it shows. It really does. And not that I don't like the later seasons of RWBY, but I've never finished the later seasons.
Yeah.
I keep trying to like, okay, I'm going to watch them this time. And then like, I won't like go to the next season or what have you.
I'm trying to think of what season I stopped at. I think it was 4.
4 was an okay season.
I think I got to 6.
I think I got to 6 eventually. I think it took me a long time to finish 5. And then I think I did 6, but I never moved past that.
Yeah, something like that.
We watched the 2 Ghibli. We watched the 2 Justice League RWBY crossover movies.
Did. Those are not good.
Those are not good. Those are not good at best. And like, how can you mess up putting Wonder Woman in there? I love Wonder Woman.
Make her a child.
Yeah, make her a teenager. Gross. Okay. Let's see. We talked about boy-girl friendship survive. We talked about Catch Me at the Ballpark. Kowloon generic romance. Gorilla God's go-to girl. Witch Watch. Aharen. Rock. Lazarus now. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Please Put Them On Takamine-san.
All right.
Dylan, what would you think this show is about?
Cooking.
Nope.
This show is about a girl who has the supernatural power to redo things in her life. At like any point in her past, she can redo an event by removing a piece of by removing her underwear. So like, an example. She went up and they're like, here's your test back. Weird. You didn't get a perfect score. You missed 2 points. And she's like, is this some sort of grading mistake? And he's like, no. She's like, okay. And then she takes her underwear off. And then there's like, all of a sudden it goes back in time a little bit. And she's like, here's your test back. It's a perfect score again. And then nobody has any memories of the other thing happening except one character who was just like hiding in the gym storage room thing where they put all the like the soccer balls and equipment and stuff. He's just like hiding there for bullies or something. And she comes into that room and she thinks nobody's in there, takes off her shirt, puts on a bra, because the underwear just straight up disappears when she uses her power. And she has to remove an underwear to use her power. So if she wants to use it multiple times a day, she's got to replace her underwear. So he sees her bare naked breasts.
Which you see the breasts.
You see the nipples on Crunchyroll. So it's one of the rare Crunchyroll shows that will show nipples. And then you're like, okay. First of all, Ben and I are watching like, oh, we knew that this was like some sort of raunchy thing, but we're just straight up seeing the nipples. There's no censoring here. Okay.
That's odd for Crunchyroll.
It is. I'd seen it before. My wife is the student council president, has nipples in that one.
Does it really?
Yep.
I don't remember
that. There's titty sucking episode 2. Or titty licking episode 2. It gets tamer as the show goes on.
I don't remember that.
Anyways.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen that show, though.
That show's problem is that there's a lot of progress up front, and then another girl enters, and then there's no progress whatsoever. Like season 2 is a waste. It's also, but they're really short episodes too. They're like 6 to 12 minute episodes. Anyway, because he saw her naked breasts, he's now immune to the power. And then she's like, all right, this nobody, I figured out that he's figured me out here. I have to explain how this works. I'm going to strike up a deal with him where he's just going to carry around my underwear for me and put it on me whenever I remove it, so that I can keep doing this in class and I don't have to go to like the gym storage room and put it on. I can use it more often. And he's like, no, why would I do that? And she's like, well, I'm going to scream that you're molesting me and call all these people in. And then she does that. And then she uses her power to undo it. He's like,
dude.
She's like, if you like,
the
people
Japan
call the
response
cops.
time for the cops is amazing. It's like 20 seconds.
She's like, if you, it's like, I will undo this. I'll use my power to undo this if you agree. He's like, fine, fuck it. And then she's just like, I can always use my power again to undo my undo. So you gotta basically be she calls him her closet is what she calls him. I think it's implied or like discreetly like hinted at that, I don't know, he like white knighted her when they were little kids, and so she's always had a crush on him sort of thing. But he's just a loser nobody.
I don't remember that.
Well, she says something like, "Oh, you're still so chivalrous," or something like that at some point. And there's like I think a quick flashback to her as a kid. But I remember things better than you do.
That's true. The show's trash.
I was saying that when your note is trash next to it, I assume you probably block a lot of it.
I do not like this show.
Yeah, it's a little too spicy for Ben.
No, I don't like
I'm going to watch the rest of it.
No.
But I don't think Ben is.
I think it's deplorable.
She's definitely like doing terrible things to him, but I'm kind of into it.
Nope, I'm done.
That's fine. I'll watch it without you.
Good.
It's better if I watch it without you.
Gross.
So that's Please Put Them On Takamine-san. Ben, why don't you talk about...
Strangely enough, that's like the second worst show we watched.
What's the worst show that we watched?
It's the High Dive one.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, okay.
Never mind.
I know what you're talking about now. It's weird. Let's talk about that one now. So the worst show we watched is called Yandere Dark Elf. And it's weird that Crunchyroll had the exposed nipples and High Dive is like, nope, not us. This show that has a lot of nudity. We're even going to censor the dude's nipples. Like it's just like white like stars. There's no like clever use of shadow or light
or
coming
steam
in
or mist.
It's just nope. There's just like white asterisks there censoring it.
Do you have to like pay extra for it? Is that the thing?
No, I think it's one of those like deals where they want to sell Blu-rays, so it'll be uncensored in the Blu-ray, but not on streaming.
Gotcha. Anyway, this show's really bad.
Yeah, it would be one thing if the Yandere Dark Elf. I think we're supposed to believe that she is actually high school age. But she looks like she's maybe like 26 or something.
And the dude looks like he's 12.
Yeah, and again, I think we're also supposed to believe that the dude is either like 14 to 16, but he looks like he's 12. So like they're both meeting in the middle, like okay, we're supposed to believe that she's enrolling in his either middle school or high school, whatever it is, and also that he is in middle school or high school when he looks 12 and she looks 26.
Yeah.
And like the premise is that he was isekai'd and they saved the world. She was in his party. He gets sent back to the human world. She figures out a way to go to his world. And she's like, well, I'm going to live with you now. And she's got yandere tendencies. And it's like, okay, this would be something if they both looked the same age. But he looks 12 and is a blah, whatever the fuck, has no personality besides I'm going to do the right thing. And, you know, her personality is, I'm into this 12-year-old.
I want to have sex with this 12-year-old.
And he keeps not realizing that sex exists. Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
And it's just utter trash. I'll probably watch all of it.
I'll probably watch it.
The like redeeming quality is like the episodes are like what, 12 minutes?
Yeah, the redeeming quality is the episode 12 minutes long. It is most certainly the worst show that we watched. Let's just go ahead and finish out our High Dive shows. Sword of the Demon Hunter is one that surprised me. I thought this was going to be a little bit more generic action
demon hunting
thing. The first thing that threw us off guard is we started watching the first episode and we're like, this is kind of a long first episode. And then we go and look and it's 53 minutes long. The first episode is like a short movie.
Yeah, I accidentally watched some of the first episode of this.
What do you mean accidentally?
When I started watching my show on the list, and when the first episode ended, it automatically started playing this episode. Because this is one you can watch on both Prime and High Dive.
Okay.
So it immediately started playing from like the shows you might like.
Yeah, it was a really good first episode. The second episode was good.
I didn't stick around to watch it because I assumed I was getting into episode 2, and I wasn't, so then I turned it off. But
yeah, it's very much like this is a really long setup to what the rest of this story is gonna be, which is traveling demon hunter. But like, here's this 53-minute like short movie about his tragic backstory and his relationship with his demon sister, or like half demon sister, and this like sort of adopted sister when he runs away from his abusive father, that that he then falls in love with, but they can't be in love because she is
like a temple princess.
A temple priestess protector, and has got like an arranged marriage, and
gotcha.
And then other demons show up, and like the demon little sister who's been intentionally like keeping herself young, because she's like, well, I'm in love with my brother because he's the only person that is nice to me, but I'm going to hold that because this adopted sister is also nice, and they clearly like each other, so I'm going to hold back so that there's no like weird feelings, and I'll just stay a little girl forever. But then some other demons show up and it's like, no, your adopted sister, she'll fuck anybody. Look, here's a vision of the future where she's fucking this other person, and it's like, it's very much like the two like adult characters like, yeah, there's this thing, it's not gonna work because you're the princess and I'm your protector, and the village chief's son is gonna be betrothed to you, and you want to keep doing your job because you wouldn't be the person I fell in love with if you didn't keep doing your job. So like, for the sake of our love, we're not going to compromise who we are. We're going to pick to our choices. And it's like, okay, they talked this out. This is clearly like an arranged thing. Nobody's betraying anybody per se. It's tragic, sure. There's all these circumstances, but the little girl demon doesn't see that. She just sees like, hey, look, your sister's going to betray your brother that you love so much. And she's like, oh, I don't believe it. And then it's like, well, here it is. Look, we'll go, the exact worst time so you can misunderstand things. And then she's like, well, fuck, I guess I'm going to go full demon, which means I lose my humanity, and I'm going to just kill my adopted sister, and then be, like, weird when my brother is mad at me. And then it's like, okay, like, this is some good stuff. Like, it was long, but I really liked it. Mm-hmm. And then the second episode, they, like, do, like, a quick flashback of, like, the brother also...
He gets a demon arm.
And also becomes like
a special
demon
sword or something.
Sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But then it's like we flash forward and it's like, oh, like, okay, somebody is like, a tragedy will happen here in like 178 years. Like, we've given birth to the demon queen whenever we convince the sister to go. And so he's like, all right, well, I'm going to come back here and confront her in so many years, and I'm going to go be like a traveling demon hunter. And like, it flashes like present day at the very end of episode 1, but we don't start in present day at episode 2. It's like 3 years later in episode 2 sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just going to be sort of a, hey, we're going to go through all these eras and we're going to have these little stories, and maybe the first story was good.
Yeah.
Not as good as first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it could go bad. It could be kind of go into the generic territory, or they could use this opportunity to just be like, okay, we want to tell like a story, and we can set it in any time frame between here and here, and it can be any type of story, and we're just going to put this character in. And if they go that route, it could be really good.
This could be good.
But yeah, I would definitely check out Sword of the Demon Hunter. I will let you know if you don't check it out right away. I will let you know if it stays good or not. I think
I'll probably end up watching it because it'll probably autoplay after every single time I catch up with
your show, which we'll talk about here. I'm going to talk just a little bit about My Hero Vigilantes. You know the My Hero Academia world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a prequel, probably set like, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years maybe. We see Deku's mom, and she's not short and fat. She's still hot at one point in the background. Okay. Their teacher, Aizawa, is like a rookie hero. He's still like licensed, but he is not a veteran hero that everybody knows and famous.
Yeah.
And it just follows these people that don't have a hero's license, tracking down like trying to track down a drug dealer that's selling like super villain pills or whatever to people. Just one dude who's got a power where if he's on all fours, he can just sort of like glide at the speed of a kind of a faster than you would walk, but slower than a fast bicyclist. There's another girl that's like a pop star, and she just like can bounce on things. And then there's one dude who does not, from as far as I can tell, has no quirk, but he's just big and tough and punches people. And his style of detective work is just like, that guy looks suspicious, let me punch them and figure out. And then they're like, I guess the other two are like, we gotta like, this guy saved us from getting attacked by thugs and we like him and we want to do good. I guess we'll kind of like stop him from his baser desires of punching everybody. But they're just vigilantes. Yeah, the first 2 episodes were fine.
It's not something I'd ever watch because I hated my hunter too, or my hero too.
No, well, that's your problem.
I
don't think you can hate that. I think you can just say it's all right.
No, I don't even think it's all right. I think it's just bad.
All right, well, agree to disagree. I don't want to fight. We have one more of your shows, right, Ben?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the 2 Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do Dylan's show and we're done.
Sure.
Okay. Why don't you talk about Food for the Soul?
All right, I only saw one episode.
Okay.
This show's okay. It's like a kind of shy college girl who's really into cooking, but she has no friends. She runs into like an old elementary school friend that goes to the same college, and she's trying to start this. It's like food culture research club. So then the main characters declines at first, but then she like goes to this restaurant she's wanting to try, but is like too shy to like walk in and order anything. But one of the girls in that wannabe club works there, and so she like invites her in, gets to eat the food, and then she decides to join the club. She's really excited about it because she loves food. She's like, okay, I can make some friends. Turns out the club they created was just the front, so they like could just hang out in a room during class or during classes. So she's like, uh-oh. This isn't what I signed up for. But yep, that's it. That's the first episode.
So do you think it's going to go down the route of she's going to like slowly get them to actually do what they want, but she's also going to like chill out a little bit, sort of thing, and they're going to help each other along the way? And then Yandere sex happens. Sorry, not Yandere. So what the hell am I thinking of? Lesbians. What do they call that shit? Yuri.
Oh.
Yuri sex happens.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
My guess is more like she's going to kind of influence them to like actually start the club.
Okay.
The way it's supposed to be. But again, only watched the first episode, but it was okay. I definitely got to give it 2 more. See what it is.
Okay. You can report back to us at 3. I'll be honest. Apocalypse Hotel seems interesting, but ZatzuTabi and Food for the Soul are probably not things I would necessarily check out unless you come back and you're like, oh, these are great. Mm-hmm. And Apocalypse Hotel is just like, it seems like a fun premise, but I don't know if it can hold up.
I don't know. I'm hoping that it does.
Depending on how they spin Food for the Soul, I think I like the premise of what you said, but it depends on how they spin the show from after the first.
Yeah, I got to see which way they go.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Yaiba, Samurai Legend on Netflix. Mm-hmm. This is in the same vein as the Ranma 1/2 recent Netflix show. This is a remake of a show from like the 80s or 90s.
It is a remake?
Yeah, it is a remake. Where it's basically just like, I don't know, Jungle Boy Samurai. It's been raised by his like womanizing, beer drinking dad that goes and, or sake drinking dad that just like goes out and trains, and then whatever. He's like, all right, well, hey, we were hiding from these
gorillas.
We're hiding from these gorillas in these banana crates, and then the crates got closed up on us, and now we got shipped to Japan. Hey, I know somebody that lives in Japan. I'm gonna drop you off at my friend's house, and then I'm gonna abandon my child with them, and they'll have to raise you for a little bit, and you can
Learn more samurai.
Yeah, you can put your skills to the test and actually start challenging people and in sword fights and kendo fights. And it's like, okay, kid's got wild kendo, and he earns the right to stay there by beating one of their top swords people. There's a girl his age. He starts following her to school. He challenges a sword fighter at the school that is actually good, and it is like kind of an even match between them. Eventually, he uses a bunch of tricks, like he puts like a pit trap and like drops bricks on him and stuff, and it's like he's able to defeat him, fighting
dirty,
which is how you would in a real life fight. That's how you would go, sort of thing. And then, but he just kind of annoys and pisses off this guy, and then this guy goes and finds like a hidden part. He lives at a temple. He goes and finds a hidden, sealed off area of his temple where there's a demon sword, and he draws it and becomes a demon on like episode 2.
Oh,
and I'm like, all right, it's okay. They're just straight up gonna go ahead and have that guy draw horns. Like, dope character design. There's like a bald, badass looking guy with horns now, and I'm kind of digging this show. It
has the Conan art style.
Conan art style?
Yeah. Detective Conan.
Kinda.
I think so.
But I don't know. It's got that. Well, I mean, it's from it's ripping off of a show from, not ripping off, but it's remaking a show from the 90s, and they all sort of had that kind of art style. But I don't know. This one was fun. That's all I gotta say. I don't know if I'd recommend it. I think I'm gonna watch more of it, but if we never watch another episode, I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah. That might be a thing where it's like, oh, this peaked at episode 2.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But we had fun with the Ranma 1/2 remake, so it might be on the same sort of level as that. And then Moonrise. Moonrise is from a big director, isn't it? Or am I crazy?
I don't know. I can look.
Moonrise dropped all at once. All of it's on Netflix right now. We only watched the first 3 episodes. It's a sci-fi where
people live on the moon.
The moon basically rebels against Earth and causes some terrorism incidents to happen. This one guy is somehow connected to the leader of the terrorist, was raised by the leader of the terrorist organization in some sort of fake environment. He thought he was being raised on the moon, but it's no, you were just sort of in this prepared environment we made for you inside of a big ship. Oh. And all of these other, besides you 2 kids, all of these other children in this environment were robots, and we were just doing weird tests and shit on you guys.
That's savage.
And then but then because of them discovering that, they crash the ship, and he gets raised by these people, and he gets suspected for aiding these terrorists, so he has to join some sort of suicide squad against them, and they're just trying to infiltrate the moon-based rebellions thing, and it's okay, there's some weird the terrorist that he thought was his father raising him, we learn is no, wait, that's actually the other kid that was raised there using a hologram to make it look like assuming, him. Yeah. No, we've been pretty well told that.
Yeah, basically. His name is Bob Skylar.
Bob Skylar.
Something like that. It might not be exactly right.
It's definitely Bob something.
Bob something.
Robert, but they call him Bob.
Bob Skylar.
It was pretty good. Good action, good sci-fi premise
I think
stuff.
It'll be a fine sci-fi.
Yeah.
One thing that threw me off is the sound effects for their capes, because it's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, they've got weird capes that can do certain things that we're not quite understanding exactly what the tech there is.
Yeah.
But they can sort of I don't know, bounce off of them to pseudo fly, if that makes sense. Or use them to
okay, it's
turn
Bob,
into...
Sorry, it's Bob Skylum.
Sorry, say that last name.
Bob Skylum.
Skylum. Okay. They can be sort of used as deflector shields too, or possibly even enhance their guns or something. Or they're weird. It's some sort of weird tech we don't fully grasp how they work.
Yeah.
So they can do cool choreography with things.
Mhm.
There's like a romance for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of taking a back seat most of the time, but it's there. Moonrise is definitely something I would check out if you can find it somewhere. Or if you get limited access to Netflix sometime. Okay. Are we finally ready to let Dylan talk about his show?
Yep.
How long have you been you've been here for like 3.5 hours now at our house, Dylan.
Correct.
We'll finally let you talk about this show.
Like Shabs with all of his shows, I've only seen the first episode so far.
Okay.
There's only 3 episodes out. And the first episode had me really hooked. It's going to be one of those, they can go multiple ways after this first episode. A few of those ways would be really good, and then another way it would just be really mid. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be excellent, but...
You want to say what the name of the show is there, bud?
Oh, yeah. It's From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman.
So you think this is going to just be like, he just keeps wrecking people's asses?
See, because, like, why he's an unknown swordsman in the first place, so, like, they're, I don't know if you want to call them government or whatever you'd call their sword masters. So, like, all of the best sword masters in history were trained at this school and by this guy.
Oh.
And he's unknown to, like, everyone else besides the people who went to this school, and everyone thinks he's just, like, a myth or a legend and not an actual person.
They're like, yes, Hattori Hanzo, because that guy's real. Yeah. And this guy's like, oh, you mean Hat-chan.
Yeah, I know that guy.
And then,
good old Hat.
He fucked my wife.
And then one of his former students is like leading commander of like the sword army, and personally tracks him down and says, "Hey, this isn't a suggestion. The government is ordering you to come train all of our new sword masters," and brings him to the capital.
And they're like, "Who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah,
Fuck
they're like,
this
"Who
guy.
the fuck's this guy?" And
who's
then,
this country bumpkin?
Like the best swordsman of the class, whatever's like, "I'm gonna show you how big of a joke this guy is," and he gets his ass whooped. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like in Yaiba, Samurai Legend.
I think it's gonna be good, just from the little bit of foreshadowing at the end of the first episode.
Do you think this is like a feudal Japan type thing, or do you think this is this in a fantasy world?
I think it's fantasy world.
So they're gonna fight dragons and stuff?
So I think I'd be more interested in it if it was like historical fiction.
Because one of the... So, like on the picture of the show, that one right there, she was also trained by him, but this one's the leader of the army or whatever.
I'm getting a first eye view of what it's like to be our audience, because Dylan's just showing Shabs what's going on, and I can't see what he's talking about. He's like, oh yeah, that one and this one. But we're not putting pictures up, Dylan.
So those
but she's like an adventurer or something, and not part of
the
like,
sword masters.
Yeah, the sword masters or whatever.
All
so
right.
it's got to be fantasy based of some sort. If I had to, I'm guessing that's the direction they're gonna go.
Okay. So, let's go through the list real quick. Dylan, are you gonna check it out? Now, you're not committing to watching all of it, but are you gonna check it out? Can a boy-girl friendship survive? That's a yes.
Gonna watch it, yeah.
Catch Me at the Ballpark, you're not gonna watch.
Not even check out.
Kowloon Generic Romance, you're gonna check out.
Watch that one.
You're not gonna watch My Hero Vigilantes, which is fine. Please put them on Takamine-san.
Probably.
You're gonna check that one out.
You degenerate.
I'm degenerate.
Yeah, I know you are.
I'm degenerate enough to watch that.
Don't watch out.
The Gorilla God's go-to girl.
I'm on the fence about it. I'll probably watch the first 2 episodes, and if it gets me, then I'll probably continue watching it.
Okay. Witch Watch.
I don't know. That one's a maybe.
Witch Watch was just kind of fun. It's light fun.
Yeah.
So far. All like the spells just having all these weird side effects, and like, why would you do that? Like, well, we mentioned that she flat Stanley's at some point because she's like, let me show you some more magic. I got a spell that makes everything flat. What should I make flat? Can't think of anything. I guess I'll make myself flat. And then she like blows away in the wind, and she gets stuck in like a little crevice, like in between like two stone walls. She's like, "Shit, the spell's about to wear out, and I think I'm just gonna get squeezed to death in this wall." And he's just like, "Oh shit, this is a wall. I don't have to hold back." And so he just punches the shit out of the wall.
Right in front of like a bully.
Yeah, right in front of a guy that bullied him. Okay. Aharen is indecipherable. You're going to check out the manga, I think, on that, or see if you've read the manga.
Yeah. And then I'm probably just going to end up reading it.
Okay. Sword of the Demon Hunter.
I'm probably going to end up watching that one just because it keeps popping up on Country Bumpkins. You should watch this after every episode. So.
Rock is a Lady's Modesty.
I'll probably wait for your guys' feedback, see if that goes good or if it just doesn't.
Yandere Dark Elf.
Which one was that?
That's the one that we really didn't like. Where the guy
that's
is like...
a super degenerate one that everything's... No. Well, that's one that everything's censored in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one everything's censored in.
I probably won't watch
That's the
that.
one where the guy looks like he's 12 and the girl looks like she's in her 20s.
I don't think I'm degenerate enough for that.
That's fine. Lazarus.
I probably will watch that.
Okay. Moonrise. I know this is on Netflix, but this is assuming you can find it
I'll
somewhere.
say if they're on Netflix, I'm probably not going to watch them. I'm probably not going to dig too hard to find them.
Okay. ZatzuTabi, that's Journey. That's the one where she goes traveling with people that Shabs watch.
I probably won't watch that one.
Apocalypse Hotel.
Probably won't watch that one.
Food for the Soul.
I probably will watch that one.
From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman.
I would assume I'm going to watch that one.
Okay, so of the 18 shows we talked about, you're going to check out at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And there's 1, 2, 3 maybes. So I think that's a pretty good hit rate we had. Like, if I'm being honest, a lot of these, other than Yandere Dark Elf and, other than Yandere Dark Elf and the ones that Chad's mentioned, I'm probably going to watch most of the ones that I've already watched. Just keep watching them. I don't know. I might drop off on Gorilla God. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? But, oh god, that was an hour and a half for that record, which I knew would be long because we have 18 shows and we have a guest on. So I will just talk and talk and talk. You can find us on Twitter at anime_territory. You can find us on YouTube and anywhere you can find podcasts as Anime Territory. You are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.
Bye.